G'day guys, Ron here from Osborne Digital Marketing. Today we're going to do Electrician SEO for 2022. Let's jump straight into it. So as you can see behind me, I've got a bit of a checklist. We're going to utilize this checklist throughout the campaign. So what I'm going to be doing is I've picked a company that's ranking way back on the local map pack for a New York electrician. And what we're going to do is we're going to review this company as if I was to look at them. Now, I want you guys to follow along, and you can do this for your business. You do not need to be experienced in SEO. I will help break it down through each step. As you can see here, these are the steps we're going to go through. You're going to be able to follow this video. I'm going to give you access to this checklist. It's got a ton of panels and information that we're going to fill out. So if you have an electrical company or even a local business, you're a plumber, you're in HVAC, you can utilize this checklist. We're going to focus on electricians for this circumstance because it is more so around electricians. And what we're going to do is we're going to work through all of the processes and the impacts that affect local SEO rankings. Let's jump straight into it. All right, so what we've done is we've picked out an electrician. Now, this electrician was ranking right down on the map pack. So this is the organization here, Cirilio, licensed electrical contractor. This is the organization that we're going to utilize and look at. So they're going to be our case study, so to speak. We're going to run their website through all of the tests, the same as you will for your website, or if you were to jump on as a client for me. This is essentially what we do. This is the start of it. It is a simplified version, guys, so do not feel like it's going to be too overwhelming. It's very straightforward, and all the things that I show you today will get the needle moving. So it will help you with your local rankings. And again, you don't need to be a guru with SEO. You don't need to be anything crazy. If you get this stuff right, you'll start to see progression. We're not affiliated or working with or being paid for to work with these guys. It's just a site. All right, let's jump straight into it. Okay, so this is the website that we're working with. On the checklist, what you want to do, so let's grab this website if my clicker wants to work with me. So main thing is on this checklist, guys, I'll again have a link to this so anyone can access it. You want to enter in just the basic details, because if you put this here going forward, as you can see, there's a fair few tools we're going to utilize throughout this campaign. All right, so on the checklist, guys, so what we want to do is we want to enter the information of the business, just the name, just the domain here like we've done. So you can put in the phone and we will fill out this information later. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to jump straight into the review of the Google Business Profile. So what we want to do, as you can see, where if we scroll down the bottom here we go. Here we are right here, guys. So we're probably like ranking position number 22, 23. So that's not great. So what we want to do is we want to have a look and ascertain just from a first glance about why we might be down there. So we look at the rating, it's 4.4 with 16 reviews, 10 years in business, and we have a look at what's being displayed for us, and we start to have a look at what's being displayed for our competitors. So let's just scroll back down to the bottom and let's work our way back through so we can start to see, okay, a lot of reviews, 5 stars. Okay, all right, as we can see that they've started to have a bit of reviews displayed as well. So a lot of reviews, heap of reviews, very high positive reviews. So starting to get the message from Google that we need to have more reviews and we need to have higher reviews. However, there are individuals that will sneak themselves in. But remember, we are a 10-year business. They're a 25-year business. So that could be something, but they could have great on-page and off-page SEO on their website. So we just keep scrolling through and we start to get a bit of a picture. And once we figured that out, we're like, okay, so it is more reviews. It's more positive reviews. However, it's very interesting. So if we look at these two individuals here, these two organizations right here, you'll note that they don't actually have a website linked to them. When you see that, that means that your potential to rank higher, if you get everything correct, is the chances increase. So the likelihood that you can knock these guys out because you have a website go drastically up. You've got a website, they don't. So we've had a bit of a look. We've basically figured out that, okay, there's a fair few things, reviews we have to work on. We have to try and boost that number up to a little bit more positive. And we want to make sure that we're working on our website. So that's could be the main reason. Now, as we go through the review of the business, things that you want to look for is, first of all, your categories. You want to make sure that your NAP, which was your name, address, and phone number, is succinct across everything. It aligns, everything's accurate. If you are an electrician, you don't want to have that you're an electrical store. So having that in your categories on your Google Business Profile could impact your rankings, because Google's going to think that you're also a store. So just having a look through the services, general repairs, perhaps that's a little bit too vague. Installation, that can be a little bit too vague. Whenever you're looking to move yourself up, you want to make sure that you're focusing on things that are specifically around the work that you do. So as you can see here, electrical socket and switch installation, electrical socket and switch repair, electrical panel repair, electrical wiring. Perhaps the general repairs and all of these other types of works are watering down the electrical position. So that can sometimes be a factor, sometimes removing too many vague things. So if you notice on your listing that you have, for instance, maybe holiday lighting, these types of things, install and repair, real solutions, that can be hurting them compared to helping them. It's not ideal to just have a ton of services in there just because you do offer them. When it comes to your rankings, it's important that you're very focused and specific, okay? So having a look at the services, there's definitely some work there that could be done. Your customers are king, so you want to make sure that you're going through and you're listening to the feedback, you're listening to what they have to say. Yes, everyone has the difficult person from time to time. That will happen to every single business owner, but you still need to make sure that you're listening to them, because if you respond to those individuals and you do it in such a kind way, it's something like 60% of negative reviews can be switched to a positive review. So it's quite a high statistic, and a 1 on your Google Business Profile is profoundly impactful to your business. You want to remove that and try and get that higher up. Now, photos as well. Photos can contribute. The more photos you have, it is a better situation to be in. As you can see, it doesn't appear like there's a ton of pictures here. So that's another thing that needs to be addressed. So just having a look at that, you would jump back over to the local SEO checklist and you would write down your comments. Say, need some reviews. We need more pictures. Now what we're going to do is we're also going to run it through a grid search. So this is essentially a grid search. What happens is each one of these dots right here, let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better if it allows me. No, it's not allowing me to. Okay, so I'll show you on a bigger report and we'll run this company through, but let me just explain it in the meantime. So the center dot is basically where your business is, okay? So as an example for the Sparky we're running right now, Electrician, sorry, Australian coming out in me, the center dot is where your business is located. All these other dots are locations. As an example, if someone was standing in this park over here and they were to type in electrician, this is the position that the company, your company that we're searching, so Cerelio, where they would rank. So as an example, yeah, and if we come back here, so let's say that someone's thrown in Cerelio's and they've turned up, it says number 7 here. That's where their ranking is. So in that location, they're ranking number 7 for electrician, okay, in this location. However, in this location, where it's a green 1, they're ranking in position 1. That's an example of a grid search. When it comes to doing a grid search, guys, you've got 3 options. You can either sign up to Local Falcon and pay a little bit, which is like $10 to check out. You can sign up to Bright Local and do 1 free search, or you can just hit up my agency and we'll do a free search for you as well. So on my checklist, I have all of these covered. So you can go literally to the Bright Local, you can go to Local Falcon, and you can go to us. Either way, you're going to get an audit. The only thing that costs you money is the local. So we're going to utilize Local Falcon to jump straight into it and assess the business. So we hit the scan report, and with Bright Local, guys, if you do it in Bright Local, it's very, very similar. Depending upon the grid size that you operate in, perhaps you're close together, but ideally a 7x7, 3 miles gives you a bit of an understanding where you're at. Input your information. It'll be basically the exact same thing when it comes to your website. Put in your website and then the main keyword you're going after. So electrician. So perhaps we're looking for electrician, and that's what we're doing today. So we're going to run a scan. Now this scan will take a little bit of time. It'll take maybe 5 minutes. Once it's done, we'll see all the little numbers pop up for us, okay? And I will show you exactly how that looks. So we'll wait for the results, but we'll jump back over and we'll start to knock out this. So we've had a look, we've seen that reviews, Google Business Profile, we can basically check that off for the time being. Whilst we're waiting for this to run, what we can do is we can review the website. This is where we utilize the SEO tool known as Semrush. So we want to grab our website, and again, this is why we put it here, guys. We go over to Semrush. Again, everything that I talk about today, guys, there's a link here and there'll be a link in the description of the video. So you're going to have access to absolutely everything I show you. Do not be concerned. We simply input the domain. So you come into the back end of Semrush. It is a paid tool, guys, but I believe you can do one free search with this tool. If not, guys, there are free tools out there, and I do have a video on a ton of free tools. So if you click this link right here, one down, this one right here, it's going to take you to a video that I have where you can use some more free tools. Obviously, you don't get the information, but at the end of the day, you can sign up if you're serious about getting your business higher. So we run this report for you for free. If you don't want to pay for Semrush, you don't need to. Just hit up the agency. All you need to do is follow this one right here, made it blue for you even. Click that, enter the free website audit, and we take care of it for you. Okay, let's come back over to Semrush. So what this does is this assesses the website. So we get to see the organic search traffic. So it's saying that around about 156 people each month are visiting the website. The authority score basically is think about it as like a trust score. So the higher this is, the better. It means you're more trusted by the search engines. It's just an algorithm utilized by Semrush to derive at this number. However, it is something that you should pay close attention to, because the higher this number, the easier it is to rank. Backlinks, that's how many backlinks we have. So what we want to do now is we want to get the 452. We want to come over here and go total backlinks is 452. That's how many we have. Total keywords. How many keywords are we ranking for? There's a total keywords of 48. Now to check out our keywords in more detail, we will go across, but let's just go back over here and go 48. And the reason we put this here, guys, is because we want to see what's going on. We want to know how our campaign's going, so we can immediately see the information here. This just gives us a bit of an overview, okay? Now what we do is we take it to the next step. We check out the organic keywords. So we hit the view details. Now this is going to load up all of the keywords that Semrush believes we're ranking for in the Google search engines. So you can scroll down and see the position here. So for Cirilio Electrician, we're ranked number 1, which is what you want. If your business name is not ranking number 1, you need to address that ASAP. I highly suggest that you utilize Google Ads and get your business ranking number 1 if it's not ranking organically. So if individuals don't find your business ranking up the top when they search for you, no matter how good your services are, they won't go with you. Google is a lot of people trust on the information put forward by Google. Okay, so we can start to scroll down and see what we've got here. Okay, so New York electricians, 24. And what we can do is you can see volume. So the volume means how many searches that has a month. So it's saying that Cirilio electrician, on average, there's 40 searches a month for that. So let's scroll down to a more generic one, electrician Brooklyn. There's 390 searches a month. We're ranking in position 7 for that keyword. We are not ranking in the map. So this is not Google Maps. This is the organic listing. So the SERP results. So when you type something into Google, this is what, these are the positions we're ranking in. So when you're trying to figure out the keywords that you want to target, what we're going to do is we're going to focus more so on the generic terms, the ones that are going to bring us traffic. Just for this example, when you are specifically looking to do your business, the main thing is where you are already ranking. So bringing it up, we want to go from 7 to 1, 2, or 3 at worst case scenario. So we want to grab definitely Electrician Brooklyn, because that's got high search volume. Brooklyn Electrician is essentially the same thing, just searched differently. So it depends on what structure is utilized more, but you're getting the same results here. Brooklyn, just different variations. So let's scroll down a little bit further. You can see electrical repair, Brooklyn, New York. So that's a good one. Electricians, New York City. So there's only 50 searches, but it's still quite a good keyword. NYC, electricians, that could be all right. And the reason we're slowly moving down is because we're starting to see the keyword volume. So we're looking at the volume, because we don't want to go after something that's, at the end of the day, we're ranking, like, yes, we're ranking in position 27 for electricians New York, but there's 90 searches. And the competition is, it's a much of a muchness. So KD means keyword difficulty, which means that it's not that different. Like, if you were to decide you want to go with something that has more traffic, that's pretty much the same difficulty. So if you're not that far, 27, 35 on a SERP, they're pretty much in the same place in my eyes. So you'd be better off going for electricians New York, okay? So what we can do is we can add these keywords to a list, or you can export them. So what we want to do, utilizing our lovely tool, is we can export selected CSV. So now we're going to be able to copy this information over into the local campaign. So because we want to track these keywords, I'm only looking at these keywords as a generic sort of situation, guys. I'm just showing you what you would look for. When you are considering the SERP, make sure that you're looking for keywords that make sense to your business. As an example, again, if it's an electrician store that has 10,000 searches and we're ranked number 10, don't go after that unless you're an electrical store, okay? So even though you might have a keyword tied into your organization, make sure that you're focusing on things that are extremely relevant, that you want traffic from. If someone is searching for an electrician in Brooklyn, that means that they want an electrician. If they're looking for electrician house styles in Brooklyn, as an example, they're not necessarily looking for an electrician at that point in time. So that's always very important to consider. Back over to our campaign, and in this point in time, guys, what we do is we come over and we go to the keyword research. So I'm going to grab all of the information from this spreadsheet, put our keywords here, and put the positions here. Okay. So these are the positions we're currently in. All right, let me just beautify this. So that tells us where we are ranking right now for this electrician. Very, very simple. So now we can come along and we can have a look at this and be like, okay, this is where we're doing quite well. This is where we're not. Let's remove this because essentially it's the same keyword. But you can start to see what we're doing well for, what we're doing poorly for. And if you want those quick wins, it's better off you can grab keywords that are not utilized and not leveraged. So as an example, if we jump back over to the search and we scroll all the way back down here, price electrical Inc., all services electric New York. If you want the quick wins, for instance, we're ranking number 83. If we were to create a web page for that, so we created a bit of content around those keywords that are way down here, even licensed electrician New York, as an example, we're ranking in, it's going to be difficult to get there because it's quite a challenging keyword. However, getting something from 73 to page, to result 30 is a lot easier than going from position 10 to position 6, 5. Okay, so if you want quick wins, you can do this. However, I don't recommend it, because if you do it that way, you need to remember that number one normally gets around about 33% of the clicks. So if you are ranking not in number one, you're ranking in number, let's say position 10, you're going to get 2% of the clicks. So you're going to get 2% of 390, which is 7. So you're going to get 7 clicks compared to 33% of 390 is 129. So you're going to get 129 clicks if you're ranking in position 1. Okay, so it's very, very important. It's very important that you consider all of this when you are going after the keywords. You're better off focusing on things that you're already doing well for. Then we clean up the pages, which I'm going to show you how to do, and we get the results. Now, once we've done that, we should have our scan done. And as you can see, let me just zoom in a little bit for you to try and make it a little bit easier on the eyes. As you can see, we're not doing too well. We're only ranking in position 1 for our location, and that is it. We're not ranking well anywhere else. So the grid search is telling us that we have a lot of work to do, okay? So when we come back over to the local checklist, what we want to do is this performance here. This is where we would say an overall from 1 to 100. We'd say, how's the performance of the Google business? Accounting for the grid search, accounting for everything else that we need to do. I would say that it's around about 35. The reason that you do it this way is because immediately, let's say I have 35, then the next one is 100. As an example, I know what I need to deal with straight away, don't I? I don't need to jump around and think about what needs to be dealt with. It just helps you get the ball rolling on the critical areas. So we've had a look at the website. We've had a little bit of a keyword research. We're doing quite well here. All you need to do is enter in the main things that are focused around you. We're just focusing on these couple keywords now because it's an example, guys. All right, so we jump back over to the home page, and yes, we've had a look. Now, backlinks, we got the backlink number. If you want to be more specific, what you can do is you can come back into the domain overview and you can actually have a look. So you can click on a backlink button and that will show you the backlinks that you have for this page. So when this decides to load up for us, so you can click on that and it's going to take you through to a separate page where you can ascertain, evaluate all of the backlinks that you have going to this website. All right. If you don't know what backlinks are, guys, video is going to pop up above explaining what they are, and you can check that out there. Okay, you can see all of your backlinks down here. But let's jump back over to the checklist. We've done that now. So now is a core web vital. So we want to test the speed of the page. All right, let me just clean that up. So the core web vital test is something that Google has openly came out and stated that as of 2020, speed is a ranking factor. So for every second you're over 3 seconds, you're going to lose around about 20% of your traffic. So that's not very good. So this is the web developer tool. To gain access to this tool, just click this link here. This one right here. Okay, Google Core Web Vital, that one right there. All right, guys. So that'll bring up this page. Now, just FYI, it has been very slow and very crashy. When it comes to the Web Vital test, mobile is more important than desktop. However, if your desktop fails, that's a red flag. You need to get desktop passing, and this page is doing Google things. Okay, maybe it's not going to crash it. All right, so 38 mobile, really, really bad. Really bad. No, it looks like it's crashing. Guys, just waiting for Chrome to not crash. Like I said, just be aware of when you're on this, don't have anything important open like I did, because it will probably crash on you. For some reason, Google, this has been constantly happening with Google. So Google's performance tool to test performance is not performing when it's asked to perform. It's Google for you. So, all right, we're back. Okay. All right, so it's 38. I'm not going to click desktop because I'm not risking another crash. But as you can see, it's bad. It's really, really bad. So let's get rid of that before we have another crash. Okay, so it's 38. The overall health of the website. So what we had, like looking at it's a little bit hard, like keywords. You'd sort of say it's okay. Probably needs more work, but it seems okay for now. 38 on the mobile. Again, guys, really just focus on mobile because when you're a local business, what do you look for, and how do you look for local services on your mobile. So mobile's the main thing that you want to focus on. So Schema Validator. What Schema is, again, another video popping up about Schema, but Schema is essentially code for search engines. It explains to the search engine in more detail what your website's about. If you don't have Schema, that's going to hurt you. So how does Google know what it's looking at? Yes, you might. Remember, guys, something that's very, very important in the SEO world is that Google does not rank websites. They rank web pages, okay? So it's important that you focus on that. So let's go and check the Schema. All right, guys, so the Schema tool right here, the Schema Validator is this tool right here. So it's going to look like this. And all you need to do is paste the URL in there and hit run test. Now, if there is Schema, it's going to appear over here. If there's no Schema, there's going to be nothing appear. It does appear that there is Schema. However, it's not appropriately installed. And for some reason, it's looking like the country is Canada. So we're telling Google that we're in Canada. So that's something that we don't want to be doing, guys. This is why you check all of this information. So that is failing. So let's just give that an F because it's inaccurate. It's not correct. It's not working. So we've looked at the core web vitals. We've looked at the Schema. Now what we want to do is we want to look at citations. When you're a local business, citations are very important. So a backlink is a link from a website to your website, and it's basically viewed as a vote of confidence. Citations are essentially links from directory services like your Yellow Pages, Yelp, Google, back to your website. Now, these will have the name, address, and phone number of your business, and that's why they're citations. That's why they're called citations. Citations are very important for local SEO because what they do is they say to Google, look at all these directories. They're pointing to my business, which means I am real. I'm an authority figure, and this is where I'm located. So Google sees that as an indication that you are real and that you're an authority figure. The more citations you can have can help you. However, it's not ideal to just mass spam them. So what you want to do is, let's check it out. You have two ways of doing it. You can either utilize Bright Local again, or you can do it the free way. And again, guys, I'm showing you everything with sort of free ways to do it. So you'll see this, it's called a search operator over here. So what we can do, let's copy that. Let's go over, let's paste that into the search engine. Let's grab the website. Stick the website there. Let's grab the business name. So this name here. And we go back over to the search engine, paste where it says company name and hit enter. Now what this is going to do is it's going to look for the business name and it's going to exclude the main site. So as you can see, here's the Yelp, here's Zoom, here's Hells, Facebook, and you can start to see Twitter, all of the other locations, okay? So what that does is it starts to give you a bit of an indication of how many results you have. So it's 53. Is everything going to be a citation? No, it's not. But this is the free way of getting an idea of how many we have. It's free, cheap, and quick, like I just showed you. So we can put in that we have 53. Now, when it comes to the next step, and again, if you want to utilize Bright Local, if you want to have more in-depth, guys, just hit us up. It's a part of the free audit. When it comes to the next steps, we're looking at the competitors, okay? It's very important to look at the competitors because ultimately the reason your competitors are ranking is because Google likes what they're doing. Do not try and reinvent the wheel when it comes to SEO. Give Google what it wants. If this is what it's ranking, make sure that that's what you create. So let's go back to our competitors. So let's go back and let's try and emulate what the top people are doing. So let's go to position 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now, guys, I'm just going to use position 1 because the video will be 2.5 hours long. but we're just going to use position 1. Okay, so what we want to do is we just want to have a brief look at position 1. So this is H&A. What are they doing? What are they doing differently to us? Immediately can see higher rating and a lot more reviews. Okay, so you can see that the service is vaguely different. Yes, they're offering a little bit more so on the fan, but as you can see, there's a bit more electrician. But again, there's some vaguer, obviously breaker panel and breaker boxes all related to an electrician. However, you can see a lot more things with electrician in it. So you can see a lot more key services with electrical in it, electrical work in it. So humming noise, that's a bit vague, but you can start to come through and have a look. It's like, okay, so this is what they're doing. Let's have a look at their photos. Few photos on there. Looks to be more photos than what we have. Okay, let's visit their website. When it comes to local SEO, there's a couple of things you can do. So you've got your Google business profile. You can optimize that to try and get you ranking better, but that will only get you so far. Hence why those individuals that didn't have a website were ranking in front of our website, but they weren't ranking number 1. Okay, even though they had good reviews and they had a lot more reviews. They need a website. So if you want to rank higher in a competitive niche, you need to make sure that you've got your website highly tuned. Very, very highly tuned. So let's start to see what they're doing different to us. We've got a couple of numbers where you can call. So as you can see up here, guys, I've got a little bar thing up here. This is linked to my Semrush account. This toolbar is a free edition that you can get and download as a Chrome extension. I highly suggest it because it tells you how many pages are indexed by Google. So as you can see, it's got 250 pages and we have 14. So immediately there's a big difference there. Okay, you can look at links. We've got 56 according to this toolbar, which again is inaccurate because we actually know we have 400, but they have 184. So that's why the toolbar, it's just a bit of a guidance, guys. It's a free tool. Like I said, it's not a paid feature, it's a free tool. So you get what you pay for in this game. So as you can see, the pages is drastically different. So immediately that tells me, okay, we need a ton more content. Straight away, we need a lot more content for our website. So we scroll down, we can have a look at it and start to see they've got a lot of content on their website that's really going to be SEO optimized, hence how it's structured. A few years in the game, guys, and you'll be able to tell how it's structured. They've got all their services on the home page. They're trying to push, because Google is, think about a tree, okay? And if you have your main services coming off the trunk of the tree, there are a lot more important branches. And that's exactly how Google views it. Now, they've put all the postcodes here as well for areas that they serve. So this is just telling Google, hey, we are operating in all this. This is 100% SEO, guys. Is it correct SEO? Not really. Should it be done that way? It doesn't look great. But if it means you're ranking number 1, you're getting all the phone calls. So sometimes you have to do what you have to do to get results. And we want to emulate these guys. Now that we know this, we've looked at it and we go, okay, this is what they're doing. This is what we need to do. So we need to beef out the content. There needs to be more content on this page. Okay, it's very light on content. We need to add specific things as examples like the postcodes, the areas that we operate in. These are all small little things that we can do. But what we want to do is we want to get our competitors and we want to look at the information. So we want to look at their website, which we've done. We want to look at the backlinks, citations, core web vital, and the content that we have. So we've already looked at the content. I'm not running the core web vital test again, guys, because you saw it crash my thing before. That's not happening. But when it comes to the citations, we can have a look at that as well. Okay, so citations is backlinks, what we want to assess. So you come over to the website, let's grab it, let's throw it into the domain checker. We can start to see that the authority score is not vastly different from us. They're only increased by 3. Total backlinks, they're not too far in front of us, but they have a lot more traffic than we do and a lot more keywords. Okay, so that's quite important to look at. So what we want to do is we want to come back over to our campaign and we want to put in, so this is position number 1. The competitor name is NYC Electrician. So here's the domain. Total keywords they had was 689. Total pages was 250 from what I saw before on the SEO Quake, and backlinks was 718. Okay, now the reason for this is, guys, the reason that you do this is because what happens is we can start to figure out what's going on. So sorry, my head's in the way, but as you can see down here, we can start to see what's going on. So we know that they've got X amount of keywords where we had 48. So they're miles ahead of us. Backlinks, they're not too far ahead of us. So you don't necessarily need to do the citations, especially if you see that the results are so drastically different. Significantly more keywords and significantly more pages, but not too many backlinks. So what you want to do is you want to be focusing on creating a ton of pages. So we need to beef that number up. So with more pages comes more keywords, because we have more content out there talking about things. That'll mean we get more keywords connected to our site. With more keywords and more content, the likelihood of backlinks goes up. Organic backlinks. You can get your backlinks, you can purchase your backlinks, whatever you need to do to acquire them. But that's basically how it works. Start with content, keywords will come, and then the backlinks will come as well. Okay. All right. So let's jump back over to the checklist. So competitor is, their performance is 98. When it came to the citations, we had 53 in total. All right, so this is where we're going to pick. The next stage is we've looked at our competitors, we've seen what's going on with their websites, what they're doing. We want to emulate that, but now we need a plan. We need to start thinking about what we're going to do. So what we need to do is start picking the target keywords. Now, we are ranking for these keywords and they bring good volume. So what I would suggest is focusing on just these keywords we have here. So what we can do is we can look at our competitor and we can see what they're ranking for. And then from there, we can start to build on that. So as an example, electrician, New York City, so NYC. That's something that we could go after because the search volume is 720 searches a month. However, these dudes are ranking number 1. Now, that would mean that it's going to be incredibly challenging to knock them off, unless we have 251 pieces of content and X amount of backlinks and keywords registered, okay? So in this certain situation, we wouldn't look at it, we'd move on. We're happy with the keywords that we have over here. If we bring up these keywords, we know that we're going to get a lot more searches. We know that we're going to be in the hundreds, possibly a couple of hundred searches. We're going to be ranking number 1 for each month. Okay, so this is what we would focus on. So we're going to focus on electrician Brooklyn. That's what we're going to do for this example. So we've picked the target keyword. What we need to do now is we need to start planning the content. Okay, so we need to start thinking about what we're going to do, how we're going to go about it. Okay, so this is where the strategy page comes in. So month 1, we just want to create the content. Now, if you're not comfortable writing content, creating blogs, beefing out your pages, doing all of that, you can, again, enlist our services or just take it slowly, get someone else to do it for you. But this is where you need to start thinking. So as an example from what we've seen, and this is why this comes in quite handy, we can immediately see, this is where we're falling down. So we have no schema. So we want to get our schema right because that's failing. And we want to look at improving our Google Business Profile because the grid was really, really bad. So they're the worst things, and the core web vital was really bad. So we know, okay, that's a lot of work to do all of that. So you don't want to overwhelm yourself. So you want to say, in month 1, we're going to do the Google Business Profile. We're going to fix the core web vitals. And we are going to address the schema. So we're going to create new schema. That's what we're going to do. Okay, so you just started. We're going to say, end of the month. Date ETA is whenever you're doing your date, guys. Okay. So you could look at that and be like, okay, let's do the main things, hence the importance of the performance. You can see, okay, we're going to address this and this first. That's what we'll do month 1. Once you've done month 2, you can be like, okay, what needs to come next? Okay, so citations, we need to start building citations, and we need to make sure that we're bringing up the content, like we need more content. We saw all of that compared to our competitor. So what we can do is our strategy is we can go, okay, month 2, citations and content creation. All right. So as you can see, you're starting to build a bit of a plan for this type of website, for your website. So if you're an electrician, wherever you are, you're in Miami, you're in Fort Lauderdale, you're able to start to build and put together a plan about what you're going to do. And everything becomes a lot more structured. So as we've done that, we can come back over again and go, okay, is most things addressed? Most things are addressed. All right, awesome. So we planned out the content, but we'd like to plan it out a little bit more, guys. If you're going to be serious about SEO, it does take time, minimum 6 months. So you want to plan out something for 6 months. So you also, I would say content creation and citation for probably the first 2 months there. Then what I would start to do is content creation and backlinks. So going out there and getting backlinks, okay? And you would continue this on, let's just say, to the six month mark. Now, you can continuously build citations in waves. However, it gets to a point. You're better off sometimes just going after backlinks than you are citations, okay? Get the main citations. You want to have at least 100-ish citations, depending upon what your competitor has. So again, that would be, you would want to look at your competitor. You want to see how many he's got. And remember, guys, to check on your competitor, something that you can do is basically this. You can have a look. You can use their phone number in there as well, and that will specifically make show citations. It will help show up a bit more citations. Or you can use Bright Local, guys. Like you've 14-day free trial, so check it out. You can run it. You can run an audit on them and see what it has. So once we've done that, we've planned out the content. Okay, so the next step we're going to do is we're going to install Google Analytics and Google Search Console. Realistically, this should be done immediately, okay? As soon as you decide that you want to be serious about SEO, go and install this. If you don't know what these are, if you don't know how to install them, I have a YouTube video right here. This goes over to my channel. Look for how to install Google Analytics. Look for how to install Google Search Console. Google Analytics tracks the data on your site so you can see how it's performing and how people are converting. Google Search Console helps you upload your information to Google directly, which means that you can start to see what keyword you're ranking for. It's really, really cool stuff, guys. It's very, very insightful. And if you're serious about your SEO, you need it. All right. So once that's done, again, you'll be ticking that off. Now, improve website UX and speed. These are all things that we should be doing immediately, okay? So let's go back over to our page. This doesn't have a CTA. So above the fold is this top part of the website. So pretty much what you see immediately. This should be a call button. It should not be anything but a call button. Yes, there's a number up here, but I can't click that. I can't click to call that. I should be able to do that on my device. The fact that there's no call button here is going to hurt this business. We've literally had organizations that were ranking quite well in the SERPs, doing well in the map packs, local organizations, but they didn't have call buttons. They didn't have very friendly UX. We improved that. Very simple work sometimes. And it increases leads by 15 up to 30% just by adjusting the UX. So UX is user experience, short for user experience. So guys, that's something that you should be focusing on. You need to have a call button. You're a local business. This is local SEO. Put a call button here. This electrician should have a call button there. Call button up there as well. Call button here, call button there. Put call buttons everywhere. That's why someone's on your website. They're not there to learn about being an electrician. They're there to have you come over and fix what they need fixed. Okay, so that's what you would do next. Now, Page Optimizer Pro, all content. This would be the next step. So you would try to do this in your first month. Everything you see here is what you would try and do in your first month, okay? So Page Optimizer Pro, all content. What POP is, and I'm going to call it POP because that's what it is, it's an optimization tool for content. So it goes through your content on a page, it reviews it and says, it looks at the competitors and says, hey, this is what the competitors have. This is what you need to do to start ranking. So when it comes to SEO, it's very, very important. So remember, this website, they have a ton of content. They have a ton of H2s. They have a lot of services over here. They have all of this. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what exactly are we missing? What do we need to use? That's where POP comes in. POP's brilliant. It's a cheaper tool. You can use things like Surfer SEO, but I love POP. POP's really, really simple to use, really, really easy. So once you add the project in, you can start to name the project and add a new page. So we can go, if we want the custom side of it, which, you know, if you're an SEO guy, you should be using custom. If you're not, just jump on the basic. So we can literally this is our main keyword that we want to use, guys. So we go back into POP, input the keyword. Okay, we can just leave it as home unless they have an extension. No, let's just leave it as that. Okay, get the page name and you can just give it a name. So what this is doing now is this is going to go through, and again, it's looking at all of the top things. So it's looking at my competitors, it's scraping all the top results, and it's going to tell us, hey, this is what you need, this is what you don't need, and it's going to look at all of it. Now, I think from memory, guys, I can't remember how much POP is, but if you're on the serious level, you need this tool. If this is something that you don't want to do, this is what we utilize in our agency, and we will help you do this. So ultimately, it's up to you. But if you want a great tool, this is what you want to be using. Guys, if you've enjoyed the info I've given you so far and it's actually helped you, please make sure you hit that like button. If you've enjoyed this content, hit the subscribe. I'm sure that I'll bring out plenty more like this that will help you achieve better results for your business. Cheers. Okay guys, so the POP report's ready. So what we're going to do is jump straight into it. So we've achieved a score of 18. Okay, so not great, but when we've looked at the page, we've just looked at the home page. So as an example, what I would suggest for this electrician, you would go away and you would create a specific page for this content. Now, I have just looked at the home page just for ease of making this video, but what you would do, let's say you were this electrician, you would go away and you would create a specific page for Electrician Brooklyn. So you wouldn't be doing this content on the home page, you'd be doing this on a specific new page, a new service page they're known as. So you'd create your new page and you would need to have close to 3,200 words of content on that page. All right, you would need to make sure that your title encapsulates all of these keywords right here. All right, your subheadings would need to have these keywords in them X amount of times. So as an example, Brooklyn would need to appear in either H2, H3, 2 to 3 times. Okay. Now, these are all main keywords and keyword variations as well that need to appear in the body of the content. And this is how many times. So Brooklyn, we need to see Brooklyn appearing 7 to 11 times. Now, things that you need to look for is if you do utilize POP is the NLP. So that's Google's natural language processor, which means that Google applies this keyword to our keyword. So basically, it's very important that we have these keywords in there. Sometimes it's going to be a little bit weird and going to see weird and wonderful things about LinkedIn. Do you need it? No, it's not really relevant. So in this situation, you would leave it out. However, perhaps when it comes to salary search for an electrician, hiring multiple candidates, I wouldn't advise that. Brooklyn job salary, if you could tie that into an FAQ for your electrician, perhaps. But when it comes to search electrician helper salaries, these things are relevant and not really relevant. But at the end of the day, Google's saying, hey, when someone searches for electrician Brooklyn, we expect to see these types of results. So this is where your best judgment needs to come into play. Is it relevant? Not really, but some of the ones can be tied in, as in search electrician helper. As an example, electrician helper can be tied in to an FAQ. So what do you pay your electrician helpers? What's the salary of them? So you can be asking these types of FAQs in that content. All right. But as you can see, guys, that's pretty much the thick and thin of that when it comes to on page. This is the tool that you want to utilize. Every single tool is up here. Everything I've shown you today is up here. If you do have a WordPress website, make sure that you install Rank Math. It's completely free. It's a great tool, guys. It's a great tool. It's going to give you a lot of insights from the back end of your website, and you're going to be able to do a lot of cool things with it. Now, as you would go through your campaign, you would build out. So we'd want to page optimize every single page that we have. So you would tick that off. We'd want to upload the new optimized content. We'd want to continuously build out citations, create backlinks, matching the top competitors, and upload local business schema. Now, if you need custom schema, so you need to make your schema, simply hit this link here and it'll take you across to the Merkle tool. But that's how you do it for Electrician SEO, guys, for 2022. It's very straightforward. If you follow this checklist, the vital part of the work, the heavy lifting, comes in the analysis of the SEO. And the backbone of your campaign is going to be how you present your strategy, how you look after and manage that strategy. You want to make sure that you're fixing the Google Business Profiling. You're structuring it similar to this. If this was our client, obviously we would be using a little bit different layout to this, guys, but this is how we would structure it. We would look at it and go, these are the major critical issues that our client would have. We need to address is this, this, and this, so to speak. So we would structure it in such a way. So in month one, this is what we're going to do. We're going to improve the things that are really, really failing. That's how you need to look at it. Whenever you're doing SEO for your local business, you need to make sure that you present it in such a way that is going to continuously bring you results. You need to build out. You can come over to your competitors, and again, you would have this stacked out with at least 3. Do not go less than 3. But again, for the example, I just used one. You can have a look at their keywords and you can start to ascertain how that's going, and you'll start to figure out what you need to do before you'll be able to close that gap. That's very, very important. With SEO, do not try to reinvent the wheel. It's very important. Keep it simple, guys. Just try and knock out what these guys have done, and eventually you will start to see and improve that local ranking that we have in this grid search. Okay, when it comes to improving local rankings further around, there's a ton of extra stuff you can do. Guys, honestly, the video would be about 5 to 6 hours long if we were to go over an entire campaign. Perhaps one day we'll do one of those videos together. But right now, this is the main thing that you can do, the average person can do, the average business owner can do to make sure that they're starting to push these numbers up. Does it mean that you're going to rank number 1 if you do everything in here? No, not necessarily. You're not going to rank number 1 over here. But I can assure you that if you put all of this into play and you're very thorough in your research, you will start to see rankings. It will help you in certain areas, okay? You need to work on those issues that are holding your website and your Google business profile back. Guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's been a long one. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask me. Put them down below. If I've actually helped you learn something and now you know how to go out there and get more business, please make sure you hit that like button. Helps me a ton. I enjoy making this long content. Just let me know that you do. Don't be afraid to hit up my agency for any questions. More than happy to help. The contact details are in the form. All these links, guys, to every single tool, they're all here. They're going to be down in the video below. You can access this checklist by just simply going down below. Guys, I hope you have a lovely day. Thanks for joining me. Cheers.